Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Western Bulldogs podcast, Barclay Street.
We're back.
Straight into it. Easton, 6 in a row. How are you doing, my man?
Well, you'd probably believe that we're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, 6-0's, it's amazing. I've never been in this position in my career before.
No.
In 2008 or 9, wasn't there a stretch where...
Yeah, I think there was a stretch
and there was
of... But it was in
draw
the middle
in
of
between.
the year.
Was it?
Yeah. I can't remember. Someone out there will
someone
tell
will
us. Someone tell us. Someone tweet us. What was the last longest streak? But 6-0 is.
No, it's great. The guys. It's obviously amazing to be a part of it at the moment. Really pinching myself, to be honest, and really hungry for more.
Is it the perfect timing to take on the champs in the Tigers? I know, they didn't win last week and the Dogs are on top of the ladder, but there is still the unwritten rule of, the Tigers are,
the reigning premiers, and you want to beat the best.
And the team of this modern era.
Yardstick. They are the yardstick, that's for sure. And they have been for a number of years. So, and even just going back in recent history, they gave us a real touch-up up in Queensland last year.
Yep.
And we're really looking to turn that around on the weekend, and can't wait to be out on the G on a Friday night. How good's that?
Okay, well, I want to dig into Friday night, which is not too far away now. I want to dig into that in a little bit, but let's just go back to last week up in Canberra. It must have been chilly up there, but the footy was pretty hot, as it always is against the Giants, but it looked like a tense arm wrestle for 3 quarters, and then the boys showed a lot of maturity getting over the top. How was it out there?
Yeah, look, it was great. It was, as you mentioned, it really was that arm wrestle. But what's really pleasing, about the group and where it's at the moment, there's real calmness about that, and really feeling like, although the scoreboard probably wasn't reflecting what we might have desired or wanted, that we knew that the game felt that we were still in an element of control, and that it would come. It would come. Not it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when.
Is that a satisfying way to win, when it's that tight arm wrestle for a long time and then you're able just to run over the top?
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been a part of those games as well, and when it is that real battle to when it finally breaks, is that breath out, that and that enjoyment of, okay, now we're rolling. And I'm not sure how many we kicked in the last quarter, but it felt like a lot. Yeah. And it was an awesome way to win. What
about your own form? Because you've had a really solid start to the year, got over the injury concerns of Laverne and Shirley. They're almost long forgotten. I was hoping this would be a sort of thread for the whole year. It's already
it's like, shouldn't be hoping
just, it was just going to be good content, for the listeners.
Well.
But to me, you look like you're back in the zone of when you play your best footy, where you are playing not purely on instinct, because that does you a disservice, but there's less thinking and more feeling. Is that how it feel for you at the moment?
I'd say that's accurate. I I suppose more than ever, my role's simplified. I've gone through so many different phases in my career, and obviously you're coming through, as you know, being as captain, there's certain other things that you have different thought processes going into the game.
Yeah.
And even with the strength of our team, I'm no longer a part of a reliant thing of, we need me to play at my best and to dominate to win the game. I'm just doing my bit, and being able to go into each game and only focus on that little patch and do that as you said, with freedom and with instinct.
So you feel the responsibilities shared at the moment?
Absolutely, and across the group, and obviously Bont sets such a high standard with doing that, and carries such a heavy load, but also the guys around him. It's not just even Bonty doesn't have to be the best player on the ground for us to win. As we see the strength of our midfield and across the rest of the ground, everyone's popping up and having moments and having huge games. So it's really a great team to play in at the moment.
So as is the way with footy, even when things are going so well, the even contribution that you talk about, 6 wins on the trot. Then there's the sour of the sourness of injuries, and we had 3 from Friday night that I know of. There could be more internally. But let's go through them one by one. So Timmy English gets a knee to the jaw.
God, it was a horror knee, wasn't it?
It
looked
like
awful.
We never like to see someone concussed and he'll miss
how
a week, of course. But
how his jaw didn't break, I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, he's gone straight into the concussion protocol, and he should be fine to play next week. He's doing remarkably better than I thought he would be.
Is he back on the track yet?
Not yet. No.
But is that part of protocol, or is that just where he's
so? It's too new. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
Not fully across it.
Yeah, okay. What about Dunks? So we saw the shoulder pop out off the ground.
How tough is Dunks? We've always known Dunks is tough, and I reckon it's almost time to start talking about what echelon of toughness he's in. He's in the Dale Morris conversation of what he can deal with. I mean, last year he fractured a rib. No, the year before. Not just fractured. He broke it clean and played the next week. And how you can do that, I know I couldn't do that, and I'm pretty sure you couldn't either. Maybe you could because you don't tackle, but back in the day. But I mean,
that one was just for free. It's been such a
it's been sitting there.
Such a nice little start to the podcast.
It is.
But yeah, no.
But look, he dislocates his shoulder and is incessant. He's insisting heavily that he wants to come back on, and he did, and he had impact, and then goes to punch a ball, and you can see how obviously bad it was because it just went straight back out.
Yeah, your shoulder should be able to handle spoiling the ball, so to see it pop out.
It's just brutal. So he's just an absolute weapon, Dunks, and look, he'll. I think the timeline is between 3 and 4 months.
Yeah.
And
have you had a shoulder reco?
I've had both.
You've had both.
Early days, that was back way back, and I remember I was told 4 months, and by 4 months. And as a 19, I was like, there is no way I'm letting anyone hit me on this thing at this point. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dunks is back in 3 with the toughness that he's got. Well, so, stay posted. Yeah,
well, we wish him all the best, of course. And Jongy.
Oh, God, the heartbreak of that.
Oh man, it was the ripple effect of sorrow from Bulldog supporters, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one. There was text messages and phone calls and... Because we do have this irrational belief, don't we, that we hold on to of, it all evens itself out and everyone gets their turn. And he just has been given such a horrid run of bad luck.
And just the consistency of that is just awful. And you're right, like you do think of the fairness thing of like, well, okay, well if you've had one injury, it's got to pan out at some point. Like you've got to get a good clean run at it, and he just hasn't. He just never has, and like. Yeah. I think he got injured in his first game back the year before. He gets injured first game back in this, and just we can sit here and talk like of how wonderful it is at the moment of being 6-0 and that kind of thing. But there's always that bittersweet part to it too. Like footy it can be that cruel beast, and for Jongy, it couldn't be crueler.
Yeah. Well, we send out our love and kindness to those three, and I know all the Bulldog supporters who are listening.
Did you happen to catch his Instagram post?
He is in.
He can remarkably turn a bad situation into one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's award-winning
It's the darkest humour I've seen, but
it's award-winning social media.
It's really
usage.
At his humorous best.
Yeah.
I hope he never has to get there again. But it's a real high watermark.
Maybe we could do that in weeks to come. Because I know we're going to get into the best, most iconic Bulldog goals in a moment. Maybe we could do something
Insta posts.
Yeah. Well, some social media awards for. We'll thrash that one out, but I feel like there's an idea in
there. We're spitballing here, but there might be something in
somewhere. How excited are you for Friday night footy in Melbourne? Because last week, Canberra, that is a different beast. The numbness of the toes takes the edge off ever so slightly. But this is in Melbourne. It's a couple of heavyweights. A lot of people, myself included, I hope you think the same, think the Dogs are contenders this year. The Tigers clearly have an inner belief that is built on solid foundations of 3 flags in 4 years. They are the champs. What's it like, a day out, 36 hours out from this game?
Think of where we've come from of last year, of not playing in front of crowds, then playing in front of small crowds, and just to be back at the home of football on the hallowed turf of the G, up against the reigning premiers, rolling in at 6-0, ready to take on, the measuring stick of the comp. I don't think it really hard to get a lot better than that.
Is it heightened, do you think, because of last year, the no crowds?
Yeah, I think so. Really looking forward to, you probably take for granted years before playing in front of big crowds because it's just how it normally is. But having that taken away and, not the soul of it felt different playing in front of no crowd. It was like, it's weird. It's really weird.
Ingredient.
100%. So, to have, I'm not sure how many will be there, 70, 80,000 maybe? Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah. God, that'll be epic. It'll be. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I was about to ask you what the biggest crowd you've played in the grand finals probably, was it 99,000?
Yeah.
Well, there won't be 99,000 there tomorrow night, but it'll be a big one. And it'll be just as loud.
It will be.
It will be just as loud.
Absolutely.
The setup down back, so I don't know how much you can tell us, but the Tigers have such an established two-pronged, key forward setup with Tom Lynch and Jack Riewoldt. Tom's under a little bit of scrutiny at the moment because he's maybe not at his absolute best. Jack's having it. He's a pretty good player. He's a pretty damn good player and has been for a long time. Jack Riewoldt, as you know, has been one of the star key forwards of the competition. So Alex Keith will get one of them. It's for the majority of the night. Will you get the other for some of the contest?
Probably at different points in the game. I mean, if you watch us play, we play a pretty fluid defence at times. So if there is a breakdown or something happens where I find myself matched up against either Tom or Jack, that's not unusual. I've done that before.
Yeah.
But we're probably looking more to be that player to come across and help Alex and try and nullify their impact because they're two super important players, obviously super talented and real threats in the air. So hopefully we can help take that away from them.
Well, even without Dusty, there's plenty of threats for the Tigers. So I'm sure you and the boys are not taking them lightly. It's going to be an absolute epic game. I can't wait to have a look. I'll be there. Really excited to join the Bulldog Army and have a close look at you and the other boys. After the break, we're going to take a little break.
We'll breather.
And what I thought at the time was a magnificent idea of let's get it down to 4. The best / most iconic.
Well, so here's what you thought was going to happen, and how did it actually go?
The quickest way to piss people off in footy is to either pick a team or make a list. And it's so much fun until you actually drop the list. So we've got it down to 4. Not everyone's going to be happy.
With an asterisk?
Yeah, there are some rules.
There are rules.
We will run through the rules.
Made on the fly.
This whole thing was done on the fly, but it should be a bit of fun, and I hope you all get involved. We'll take a quick break, come back and run you through it, and then we'll sit back and enjoy some of the very best of the Bulldogs' recent history. Welcome back to the Western Bulldogs podcast, Barclay Street. Now, Easton, we're wading into deep waters here, and we are doing so with
put a few noses out of joint already, you might say.
But just know we are going in with caution and great reverence. Okay.
Good to know. And rules.
Yeah, and we could have gone through the honourable mentions.
No one enjoys rules more. No.
If we had have gone through all of the honourable mentions, we would have been here for a long time. There's been a lot of great goals. Kick some of them myself.
It's a big win. It's a big window. I wasn't ready for that, but I'm not surprised you managed to wedge that in.
Can I just give a little shout out? Someone did tweet me about through the hashtag Barclay Street of Libba's point in the 97 prelim. And it was such raw anger still. It was like, was a goal. AFL should have admitted it or did admit it. Should have been a goal. That one should have been included. So a shout out to that. Libba's point in the 97 prelim. Libba's
as far as points go.
Didn't make the cut, but it was very much welcomed. So the rules we have established. Rightly or wrongly. And
it doesn't matter when they were established.
Whether it was weeks ago or whether it was 45 minutes ago. It's neither here nor there. The rules are only one of these goals, so we got it down to 4, only one could be from the grand final of 2016.
Yep. So many iconic moments.
You can join the dots on the honourable mentions there. Yep. Liam Picken, if you're listening, we're very, very sorry. And there are others.
Yes.
There are others. The other rule is that we thought it would be right for the balance to have...
All about balance and fairness
we're all
here
about
at Barclay
balance.
Street.
Yeah, that's right. Very woke here on Barclay Street, is to have a representation from each decade. And we're talking the AFL era. So that is from the year 1990 up until the present day. Is that enough? I think that's enough because
let's be honest. You've decided it's enough.
Well, I can feel the wrath about to build and just descend on us like a gigantic
But this is what happens when you put a list out there.
That's right.
Be at the mercy.
If you're not happy with the four we've
mercy.
come up with, well, that's okay. Come up with your own list. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the four we've chosen. And we're going to go in chronological order. So what we'll do, we'll put these out today. We'll have a whole week, and then there'll be a Twitter poll. And so we will get to see...
Whittle it down to...
whittle it down to one, which has been... Now, best / most iconic goal. So there has to be a skill, freakish element
And
with
an
the
importance.
iconography.
Correct.
Okay, not just iconography. Okay, and not just best.
Yeah.
A combo. I'm asking a lot of you, but I think you're
Almost
all
like
up
a
to
thesis on just...
it. It is,
getting
but this
thing
is
going.
important stuff.
It is. Of
This
course.
could
Hey.
be like, in years to come, if this is dug up and put in the, it's the year 2090, this is important stuff. Anyway, we digress. So chronological order.
Yes.
Would you believe it? The year
Oh my
was
God.
1990,
Look
and
out.
a young and very slight Stephen Kolonyuk kicked a great goal. And Eason, at this time, how old were you?
What round was it? Do we know?
Why would you ask me that question?
Well,
It was against the Magpies. It was at the MCG.
you can just say you don't know. That's all right, mate. You haven't done the research.
I refuse
I
to
was
say
somewhere
I
between-
don't know.
I was somewhere between the ripe age of 6 and 11 months.
Okay, so I think the context here is important. So 1990, it's
Yep.
post-fight back. So post-89 fight back where the club is on the brink of extinction. So it's the season straight after that. It's against Collingwood. Who doesn't love to beat Collingwood?
Of course.
And it is at the MCG. It is the winner, so there's only a minute or two left.
Okay.
And Collingwood were the premiers in 1990. So it's against the very best. And the other thing I would add, and we're about to just bathe in it, this is iconic commentary by Bruce McAvaney.
Bruce at his best.
This is Bruce at his
Pre-delicious.
absolute best. This is it's PD. It's pre-delicious.
PD.
How about we roll the tape and just enjoy?
Give us a look.
Still a chance, Footscray. He's quick kick. Kolonyuk. Will he take right on? Yes, he does. I thought he would. One bounce. Another bounce. Left foot. Look at this. A marvellous kick. He's put them in front. That's as good as you'll ever see. And Footscray are back in front.
So I assume you've got a few questions. Where would you like to start, Easton?
Well, first, is this what Steve used to do all the time? Is this a high watermark for him? I don't.
I think
haven't
it's.
watched-
I
seen any
think it's.
footage of this
He was
for
a
him.
highly skillful, tough forward pocket, but
Yeah.
this is his. This is his moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fair moment. I love that he's a left footer and he's balked to go right.
Well,
you don't do that.
He's right footer.
What?
Right footer. So there you go. So
Why has he come back on the left?
well, that's a very, very
That
good
makes no
question.
sense. He could have kicked it straight on the
He
right.
was so skillful. He
Okay.
really was so skillful.
Oh, well, that
Did you like the commentary?
Yeah, Bruce is just. He's
Will he
just
take
in
him
a happy
on?
place?
That-
he does. He's yeah.
Yeah, that's exhilarating for a commentator. Will he take him on? I knew he
And he
would.
does.
Yeah, and Graham Wright at that stage, I mean, he was a great player, but I
Yeah.
think he might have been runner-up in the Brownlow that year. So he's one of the premier wingmen of the competition. So it's got a lot in there.
It does. And what? A couple of minutes to go, or
Yep, 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes to
Yeah.
go.
So he takes 2 bounces in the space of about 7
Yeah,
metres.
and he
I
could have
like
done with
that.
one.
Yep. The tightness of the shorts, not just on Steve Kolonyuk, but also Dougie Hawkins,
In
who
the
sort of
square.
catches the ball behind the goals. Unbelievable. The shorts in a can. That's
Perfect.
that's iconic.
So where are the dogs on the ladder at this point? Is this
Don't know.
hey mate?
Right.
I said I had
We'll
lots of
edit this
questions. You
Edit that
this
bit out. We're going to edit that bit out. So,
But this would have been special for everybody watching. I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
So really,
Yes.
off the back of the fight back, I can see.
Yep. All right. So that's number 1.
So it's got the skill.
Yep. It's got the
On the
dare.
left? That's just outrageous. I can't kick a drop
I'm so
punt off
happy.
my left.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So number
Yeah,
2. This
iconic.
one will be familiar to everyone listening and or watching. I assume This one will be familiar to you.
I've seen this one before.
Let's just sit back and enjoy the majestic skills of Chris Grant under enormous pressure.
Will he get a banana or will he run out onto the left foot?
This is where Hudson was last week, exactly the same spot.
36th position.
Over left foot.
He kicked the goal to bring him back into the game.
It's a great kick. He's kicked it. A magnificent effort.
You can't do that. You can't do that at that height. Like, you shouldn't. You're not allowed.
The skill is outrageous, isn't he?
It's ridiculous.
Do you remember this as a young kid?
No. So, but I was this the year that Essendon?
Yeah.
Was this the undefeated?
So they were undefeated up until this point.
Yeah. I love that he's had 25 kicks and 3 handballs.
He
That's
was-
someone knowing their strengths and sticking to it.
He was
Give it to me,
such a
fellas.
good player.
I'll kick it.
Yeah. So
And you
again,
can see why.
the
Let him kick
context
it all
there.
day
So
of the
this
week.
is against the greatest.
So how many
team of
rounds?
the
What are they
year.
undefeated
This is
for,
round
like-
21.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and some would have said it was a loss they had to have, but it's still unbelievable. They were a super team.
Yeah.
It was the night of the super flood of where all the numbers were back. Somehow scratched our way back into the game, and then Granny, who had there was a little bit of the top players, and we got Granny to talk about it last year of the Carey kicks the key goals, and that Granny had missed a couple.
Okay.
And so there was a lot sort of riding on it from personal perspective.
What a kick on the left too.
But just the pure skill. And Stephen Collingwood gets his head on the TV again.
Does
So
he?
he's 2 from 2. Granny
Perfect.
runs straight to Billy and gives him
Well, that's
a
got
cuddle.
all the skill in the world. That's just ridiculous.
So already, I think people are going to be torn with this Twitter poll. You only get to vote once. Remember, you only get to vote once.
Unless you've got a burner account.
That's okay. All right. Now, so you're getting a sense that the context around the goals is
Making
important.
sense. It's forming.
Now, the third nomination
Yep.
is going to be a lot closer to home. I assume you were playing this day, but these were dark times for the Bulldogs. So this is round 15, 2014. So we're in the midst of a bit of a losing streak and on a run of losing seasons. We know what happened at the end of 2014. Marcus Bontempelli was just starting to announce himself as our next superstar, really, and a football
What a way to
Moses.
announce himself,
So let's have a look at this one.
They all fell down. Frawley, will they concede a behind here?
He's done it again.
Dangerous to do that. Frawley. Stevens waiting for Bontempelli. Found a way out. That is an unbelievable effort from Bontempelli. If that doesn't get you off the couch at home, nothing will. What a goal!
Thoughts?
It's
Reactions?
It's another one on the opposite foot. He's a left footer. He's whacked it on the right boot. So we've got a theme
Yeah,
here.
that's
It's
right.
a list of the best opposite side goals.
Yep.
Only question,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be critical,
Please.
did he mean it?
Well, funny you should bring
is
that
it
up.
100%?
I was about to bring this up.
It
I
doesn't
think
exactly spin perfectly,
it
does
doesn't spin perfectly. I think he meant it.
Does he look to the top of the square there, or does he see his goals?
Let's have another look here. Does he look
What
at
do you reckon?
Let's see. He gathers it. He spins. Where?
Oh, it's too hard to tell.
It is kind of hard to tell. It's an unbelievable
It's
goal.
outrageous. The first thing, 3 or 4 different efforts to get the ball. Then he's got Teflon on him and they can't touch him. How that doesn't get smothered.
And again, it's 3 minutes to go in the last quarter.
Yeah.
And it sort
And
of
as you
puts it
said, we've
beyond
been on
doubt.
a bit of a horror run.
So with the last nomination, I'm going to ask you where you were. But for that one, so Bont's goal there, I was setting up for the exit, cover on the opposite side. So it's kind of a diagonal view. To my eye, he looked like he was halfway down the race. I was like, well, he's out of bounds by 6 metres.
That was out of bounds.
The ball, it sort of came, I couldn't really see it. And then it came out, I was like, well, that's out of bounds. I'll call it back for a throw-in. What's just happened? Unbelievable.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, so that... I do like the idea of that one, the what is it? The something's brightest before the darkest dawn or something. Anyway, we can edit that bit out. All right, so that's the third one.
Yeah. Jeez, it's been a good list so far.
It's
Bobo.
been a quality list,
Yeah.
but I do believe that the fourth nomination is probably the top seed. Okay.
Okay.
So this
The
is
favourite.
This is more of a football prayer than it is a bit of vision.
As far as
in a Twitter
iconic,
poll.
as far as
it's
iconic
almost,
goes,
for an iconography, it's almost.
It's 11 out of 10.
Well, it's almost
Isn't it?
too good for a Twitter poll. But let's just take a knee and bow our heads to this next goal.
Sold a teammate into trouble. Quick thinking by Kennedy, and Franklin was run down. Tom Boyd's got it. Tom Boyd goes long. How will it bounce? The stadium holds its breath. It's a goal. And the western suburbs erupt.
So again, the elite right footer kicks it on his right.
So
foot.
that's point off immediately.
Yeah,
Didn't kick it on his left.
If we're going to be critical, Tom, why didn't you swing onto your left? It's pretty harsh, but you know.
God. But he's kicked at 60.
Yeah, he's kicked at 60.
Off a step, really.
Unfortunately, we thought about having it accompany the Brian Taylor radio commentary, but
the
because
iconic,
of
extra iconic points for BT's commentary.
The potential for children to be listening.
It's a PG podcast.
Yep. Again, though, the Dennis Committee commentary.
The stadium hold its breath
Yeah,
is pretty amazing.
Unbelievable. So my question for you, Easton, and we've all watched this 1,000 times.
We have.
Where were you when this was happening?
It's a good question,
What's your
Bobo.
memory of this moment?
I actually have no recollection. I was sitting out there
What do you
talking
mean?
before and thinking,
What are you talking about, man?
I can't remember it. So I've watched this footage so many times and it's so iconic that my memory is now this perspective of watching it on the TV. Honestly, it's gone. It's slipped out of there. I don't know how I don't know whether I was behind or I was on the bench or.
You don't even know if you're on the ground or on the bench.
Couldn't tell you.
Wow.
We'd have to go behind the goals and have a look. It's gone. It was 5 years ago.
Okay, so my next question. Have you watched the grand final back?
That's probably part of it. No, I haven't.
You haven't watched the grand final back?
So, well, I made it. I knew that I was going to want to save that for a special time.
Yep.
And I also kind of felt that two parts to it, I suppose. One was I could watch it and enjoy it, but I wanted to have my memory through my eyes, which is ironic considering now I don't have the most iconic moment in Dogs history. I can't remember at all, so it hasn't exactly gone to plan. But there are specific moments that I remember only through my eyes, and there was also part of me that wanted to. I felt like I needed to keep looking forward, and there was such an incredible ride and journey and to be a part of that I felt that once I'd enjoyed it and been a part of all that then preparing for the next season, I thought, no, I'm going to keep looking ahead and I'll just save this as an absolute treat for when I finish, whenever that will be. So I'm hoping my memory hangs in there and I can at least keep the moments that I do have well and truly in my mind. Wow. But that's kind of my mindset, I suppose.
That's something for you to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it's a premiership marathon you get to sit down and watch when your playing days are finally done, which is still a long way off. All right, so there you go, Bulldogs fans. They're the 4 that we've come up with our algorithm. An incredible 4. I can already feel you being twisted internally like a pretzel because you only get to pick one.
I'm really surprised you didn't change the rules at the last minute just to slip a Bob Murphy little check side or running on the shot.
I'd be lying if the thought didn't cross my mind. I knew you'd be expecting
If I was more in the driver's seat of this podcast, one of mine would have slipped in there, that's for sure.
I took the higher road, but believe you me, I thought long and hard about just like 4. Just 4 options. This week, we've got a whole week. We'll put it out on the socials, as they like to say, #BarkleyStrip, but there'll be a Twitter poll. Enjoy. If you want to send in your other nominations, the one you think should have been in there instead of those 4, that's fine as well. We've got a thick skin.
We'll take the feedback on board.
Yep.
All about feedback here on Barkley Street.
And until then, we'll catch you next week, and good luck to the Bulldogs this week.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Go well, mate.